art friends, this is Mrs. Peters. This week we're celebrating Mother's Day. Hooray! And you might be wanting to make some artwork for your mom or perhaps another woman who's done something really amazing in your life. I've chosen an artist to be our inspiration for this week's project. His name is Pablo Picasso. Have you ever heard of him? He's pretty famous. We're going to take a look at Mr. Picasso's work and then we're going to jump right into our project, and I'm going to show you a couple different ways that you can make an artwork inspired by the work that he made, a piece of art called the Peace Bouquet. Let's get started. Picasso was born in Malaga, Spain in 1881, a long time ago. From the time he was a very young child, people recognized he was incredibly talented. His dad was an art professor and made sure that he got trained. From the time he was a young teen, clear until he died at the age of 92, Picasso created more than 50,000 works of art. He's credited with changing his style regularly. He also worked with many different art supplies, from painting, drawing, ceramics, even sculptures. In his youth, Picasso moved to France, and he painted the poor and the lonely. This is called his blue period. He used lots of blue tones and neutral colors in his artwork for this period. One of the next noticeable style changes was when he switched to rosier and redder colors. People like to call this his rose period. He painted people from the circus and acrobats, and just the paintings have a more cheerful feel overall. Perhaps the thing that Picasso is most well known for is his Cubist style. This is where the paintings look like they have been shattered like glass or a puzzle piece and put back together. Picasso often used to draw one object from different points of view in the same drawing, so you might see the view of a person looking forward and sideways at the same time. Lastly, Picasso also used printmaking to create some of his works of art. This one here is called the Bouquet of Peace. It was created for the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute in 1958. One of the things you might notice is that the hands were left white and that the only thing that has color are the beautiful flowers. By one person giving the other person a bouquet of flowers, it's almost a gesture of friendship or of peace. There are many ways that you could make your own bouquet of peace. These are just a couple ideas that I've come up with. To make your own, you're going to need a piece of paper, a pencil, and hopefully a marker. You'll want to put your hand at the bottom of the page when the paper is vertical. If you're tracing your own hand, just push down hard with your fingers to make sure you don't get your tracing off. If someone is helping you, maybe an older sibling or a parent, just have them trace around your hand carefully. For the next step, you'll need to find any kind of crayon, marker, or even paint. Mr. Picasso drew these simple daisy or sunflower-like shaped flowers. They're just kind of an oval on top of an oval. You'll want to add a couple of those to your flower bouquet and color them in. If you're an older or more advanced student, you might want to color some paper or find some construction paper and draw some different types of flowers. I've put the tutorials at the end of the video if you need to see some step-by-steps of how to draw some different ones that are a little bit more complicated than the sunflower one I showed you earlier. The next step is to cut these out. If you want more than one flower, fold your paper in half first before you cut it, and it will automatically make two. You might want to trim around the edges of your flower and then cut out the V portion. It makes the cutting easier. We're almost to the end, but you're going to need some long, skinny stems. Lastly, before we assemble, you might want some leaves. These look like long, stretched out football shapes. If you want more of them, fold your paper in half before you start cutting. You'll want to start gluing all your pieces together, depending on how fancy you made them. You can even color them with crayons or markers to add more details if you want. After cutting out my hand, I've glued my hand to another piece of paper if you have it, and I'm just tucking those inside the thumb so it looks like my hand is holding the bouquet. This is what it might look like if you have just a drawing. and this would be the finished product or something like it if you were doing the other. If you need to see how to write a message like Happy Mother's Day or I love you on your artwork, here you go. If you need to see step-by-step how to draw a tulip, this is the image you can freeze on. Or pause the video if you want to see step-by-step how to draw a rose. I can't wait to see what you've created this week, inspired by Mr. Picasso or any of the other art lessons you've chosen to do this week. Please make sure to send us a picture of what you've done so we can add it to our digital art show. Take care.